Hey everyone, Dave here with Affordable Door and Gate. So I'm up in my really favorite spot up north that I love so much. The leaves are beautiful. And I wanted to talk to you. I was reading this comment. I'm not going to name names or anything, but you can always look for it in my videos if you want. But I had a guy, I don't know if exactly who worked for Angie's List or where he was at, but he was basically saying that he was one of the doofuses, let's just say. He said a different word. That he works for these places, and with commissions and stuff like that, you know, he makes around $60 to $150,000 a year on selling you this. Now, I am not trying to discredit this guy by any means. I am actually very thankful that he brought this to the light, because I think it leaves kind of like a debate, right? There's his side, there's my side. And you know, he was talking about leads are sent to multiple contractors and stuff like that. So I'm going to go through some of this stuff, and I might tell you a little story in between. So if you're a guy like me, right, I've built this business from scratch. I mean, just hustled and grind. I mean, no vacations, 7 days a week. I mean, 14, 16-hour days. You know, if you're a guy that works with your hands like me, like I just tore out this pump, right? This is our well for up here. So we have water, so we can drink, so we can take a bath. We have no water up here anymore. Not right now until this pump gets fixed. So the point is, if you're a guy that works with your hands and you're not somebody that, maybe sits behind a computer and the thing is, the food chain is, everybody's important, right? Everybody's important. The guy that pushes the mop to the guy that, swings the hammer. It kind of got me a little bit, because I thought, well, maybe this guy doesn't quite understand what I mean. Now, I'm assuming that this guy probably has never came from a small business. I honestly would love for almost like everybody, in a nutshell, to have to run some kind of business. Because when you run a business, it's like you're on the other side, right? Like when I used to do the interviews and stuff, and they'd ask, do you got reliable transportation? And I'm like, yeah, I got reliable transportation. What do you think I am, a donkey? Just weird things like that. But now that I'm on the other side, I'm asking these people, I'm like, so are you married? Huh? You in debt? You got a car payment? And they're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, that's good. That means you're enslaved to the system. Good and bad, right? So, anyways, these leads, right? Here's the thing. I understand that these leads get sent out to multiple different contractors. The problem comes down to the customer. And that's what I didn't understand. Ooh. I used to give people the benefit of the doubt a lot of times. I kind of come to the conclusion as I gotten older, more gray hairs, that a lot of people are just idiots. That's just the bottom line. And people are not normally that smart. I'm not saying all of them. There's a lot of good people in this world. But for some reason, when it comes to the residential and it comes to the customer base, sometimes they're looking out for themselves. That's it. They're not thinking about you and your family or your business or your employees. They're not thinking. They don't give a rat tiny about them. Not at all. All they care about is right now, right? I want to hire somebody. My pump is broke. I can't flush the toilet. No pee-pee, no poo-poo. Oh, no. That's what we're thinking, right? I don't think that way. But because I've been on the other side. But the problem was with the customer, right? They get these contractors that call, and they would not even tell you, hey, I got somebody else that's supposed to be coming, right? So, I mean, you literally just had to like jump in a vehicle and just start driving there while you're calling and talking to them. And here's the thing. I understand like some people don't answer the phone. The thing was, the phone was attached to my hip. It went to a cell phone. I answered the phone every time. I mean, within 2 rings, I answered the phone. Here's a little story that I wanted to tell you about. Let's go for a walk. So this one time when I was up in this beautiful God's country up here, a beautiful area, I remember I signed a contract with AT&T, and I remember it was through the phone book, because that was what we used to have to do in the back in the day. You young generations don't understand that kind of stuff. You're all Google and Facebook and everything else. But I signed up with AT&T, and they had a thing going that I could be on the front page, and I had to pay I think it was $95 per phone call. And I was like, wow, I can be on the front page of it was Grand Rapids for us, which is a big area, right? Huge. I mean, like big players, a lot of my competition in there. So I got on the front page of it, right? And I tell you what, I was thinking, we're going to be rich. We're going to be rich. We're going to make so much money. Not the case. So I got on the front page. I started getting these phone calls, right? Well, we had like 30 seconds to disregard the phone call or we'd be charged for it. And I would get people calling me that were like, can you get out here in like 10 minutes? And I'm like, no. I'm like, I can probably get out there an hour or two. And they're just like, I'm going to have to call. I got somebody else. Just all this stuff, right? There went $100 every time this phone call was coming through. If it was over 30 seconds. So I remember I'd be up here. I'd be actually hunting. And I literally had to have this phone paced to my hip because these phone calls. So what I started doing is I was almost hanging up on them. Or I acted like a pre-recorder. And what I would do is I would tell them in that 30 seconds, I'd go, hi. I go, if you've reached a portable door and gate, you can please hang up and call, blah, blah, blah phone number. Yes, please hang up and call blah, blah, blah phone number, right? And I'd hang up. Seemed like the intelligence ones would figure it out. They might call twice and I'd have to do it again and I would hold it away. I'd literally put them on like mute or whatever so I wouldn't hear them, be like, oh man, this is stupid. I'm not, whatever. Because I couldn't afford this thing. This thing was ridiculous. I was losing $100 per phone call. And these leads, they absolutely just were crummy. Literally. I mean, just the stupidest. And then you give them a price and you wouldn't get the job or you tell them this or it was like, I think it was because of the name, honestly, to some degree. But back in the day, I did the A's because I got in top of the phone book. So we didn't have the Google. We didn't have Facebook. So that was crazy doing that kind of stuff. It was pure nonsense, honestly. I want to get back to my notes and I want to go over more about this Angie's List or what's the other one called? I can't even think of it right now. There's another one out there, but I want to get some notes. So another thing, I put on here some of his notes that I took out there. Leads are sent to multiple contractors. Yes, we got that. Pick up the phone and close the sale. It's not that easy. I'm not saying it's Angie's List fault for that part of it, right? It's just that Angie List, well, I didn't understand is the concept of that they're a flat out business that advertises. They don't do any background checks. They didn't check anything on me. I even think Better Business Bureau, comment below, is a scam. They've had me wanting to pay them and otherwise they're going to give me like bad reviews without even like doing nothing. It's not organic. A lot of customers don't understand that this stuff is not organic. I think your probably most organic one is probably Google, but you still get some robots or bots on there and you just get some sour customers that have really nothing better to do. Now it's expected to have some, bad feedback. I understand that. That's common. But, there's just, you really got to use your best judgment and do, put your own thinking cap on. This guy even mentions that these leads are auto-generated, which I have no doubt about. So they're bots, and they could all, you got to understand, come on guys, think about this stuff. They're business, right? So behind the scenes, they might be sending you leads that are bogus, that they're just waiting for you to answer or do something. They say, oh, we get to charge you. This guy also mentioned something about credit you. Oh, don't get me started. This stuff is like, this credit stuff, it's like the whole LiftMaster thing I talk about, right? With the circuit board. You know how much time it takes to send the parts out, to mail them, to make sure they, then who's got the time to do this? Do you guys got the time to do? I don't got time to do this. My secretaries don't even have time to do this. Where they're going to call and say, hey, did you guys receive it? Did you guys credit us? Did you guys check in? You're probably going to get screwed on the back end. They'll probably, instead of giving you a credit, give you money back. They'll probably charge you. That's just how it works, right? I mean, that's just how it works. Instead, just send me the darn parts. I deal with so many other businesses that, things that I deal with, they'll just send the parts out. You're having, I had a winch that had a problem. They sent the part out. No problem. We'll just send you a new one. Send us a video. They said, send us a video, what it's doing, and we'll send you a new part out. And the part I put on still didn't fix it. So they're going to send a whole new winch out. Oh my gosh. Customer service at its finest. That's all I'm asking. And we have all this technology. Anyways, I digress. I'm getting a little bit off track. So they'll credit you. Yeah, whatever. Contractors, he was mentioning that they think they're the only ones that get the leads. I don't think that's the case. I understand that this is going to go out to multiple other businesses. It's just the problem lies with the customer, and the customer doesn't understand that they're they're getting all this service, right? So for the customer, in a sense, it kind of works out good, kind of not, because I think it's false advertising. Because in a sense, when they used to do it on TV, when I used to watch, I don't watch much TV anymore. But, Angie's List and stuff like that used to always brag about, we find you good quality contractors and that. Heck, they didn't check hardly anything. It was just as long as I gave them money, they would put me on, you know what I mean? And so you could be getting some trunk slammer to, and then you get multiple people showing up because the customer doesn't know, right? They're just like, when can you be here? Oh, you can come today? Okay, just come out. Somebody else calls. Oh, yeah, go ahead. You get that. Certain people, you know what I'm talking about. They just don't comprehend it. So I'm really happy that this guy reached out, but still 60 to 150K, that's a lot of money from where I'm around from. That's a lot of money. So no wonder these guys push. And I knew it when I signed up with them. Like I said, you get the one sales guy, but once that guy makes the close, he's gone. He might call a few times because he still wants his commission, but they don't last. And they bounce around and they're sucking on somebody else. They're bloodsuckers. That's how it works. Unfortunately, it's how I'm a salesman too. I get the game. I've been there. It's just the little difference is I try to do an honest business. But I think where the pitfall is, it's not so much Angie's List. It's just with the customer. They're a business and they're collecting money, but they're, like I said, the customer is where the problem lies. So anyways, I hope that's helpful. Hope that clears things up a little bit. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the beautiful day. I got the wood stacked, so I'm all set up here. Got to get the pump back in town where somebody can fix it. A good contractor that I know, actually a good friend. So anyways, take care, you guys. Have a great day. See ya.